Today's episode is for anyone who's ever dreamed of starting their own real estate business but didn't know where to begin. My guest today is Stefano Giacon, the co-founder of WESTATE, a rapidly growing real estate company that's doing it all: brokerage, franchising, and even real estate education. Stefano has built WESTATE from the ground up, navigating a new market, scaling his team, and expanding internationally into places like Spain and Italy. If you've ever wondered how to start a real estate business, find clients, grow a team, or even expand into international markets, this episode is packed with practical insights you can apply today. So grab a notebook, because this conversation with Stefano is a masterclass in real estate and entrepreneurship. Let's dive in, and welcome to Business Blueprint. Stefano, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on 5 years of WESTATE. I'd love to hear your story, how you started, how did you get in the industry?
Very curious, and yes, indeed 5 years. Now that I think about it, it's a little bit shocking for me, and I'm also happy about it. It's not yet 5 years. We will have the 5 years anniversary in June this year as the brand WESTATE. When we started, let's say, 1 year and a half earlier under a different brand. But the 5 years anniversary will be in June. I'm very happy. I cannot wait to have this event. I'm actually already looking for the venues, for the partnerships. If also thanks to you, probably we can have new partnerships for the event.
I hope so.
And I will welcome you, of course, to the event.
Thank you. So tell me about the story. How did you get in real estate? How did you start? And how was the start of the business? Because obviously you grew to a pretty decent number of employees right now. It's a big company at the moment in multiple countries. So how did you start?
Big, not big. We are this big company, probably under certain aspects, but we are not big under other aspects. I would say that we are in this process of scaling up. Therefore, I would say that the next year and 2 years will be crucial in order to scale, actualize new processes, and hopefully we will get big where we want to be. Yes, it's a long story. Should I make it shorter?
Tell me more about as an entrepreneur. How was your start? How did you start? How did you find about the industry? Were you always passionate about real estate, or it's something that you discovered along the way in university maybe, or
I tell you that
just through friends?
This is not my first business. I'm an entrepreneur. I did other businesses before, and I'm pretty flexible. I would say I adapt to situations very, very fast. And you don't know what is along the way. I always say that opportunities come and go. And then you have to be always aware when it comes, let's say, a very good opportunity, evaluate, assess, and then able to execute. Because, the execution is probably the 90% of it, but the other 10% is all this flow of informations that come to you, and then you have to be able to process them, analyze them, understand whether it makes sense to make it or doesn't make sense. And curious enough, it was not now 6 years ago. And it was not strict from, let's say, my background in real estate, because I have another background. My background is more in franchising. Okay, so that's the thing. I met my partner. He is actually the guy knowing the product, that knew the product, the real estate, in the real estate industry, worked already in Italy, worked in Poland, and talking. Of course, we were talking, let's say, in a more friendships point of view. It came up the idea to basically make WESTATE happening. At the time, there was not yet the name, of course, just the idea behind it. And we came up with this idea to basically have and to make a strong brand, scaling it, and try to apply the Western model of the franchise in real estate here in Poland. Of course, readapting it to the Polish business model, to the business culture, tradition, and people here. So that's how it came up. So basically, me from the franchise and he from the product.
Got it. And what first business you started before? Because I saw that you had a food business at the beginning.
Yes. My first business, it was in the gastronomy business. Okay. Once again, when I say gastronomy business, doesn't mean that I am able to make pizza or I was making pizza, because when Italians, gastronomy people tend to think about, pasta, macaron, as they say here, and wine cellars. No, it was pretty different. I came to Poland in 2011. By that time, it was, let's say, a lot of vibes at the moment, I remember, because it was right before the Euro Championships. I used to come here because I love to come here from London. At the time I was living in London. And I caught these vibes and these opportunities along the way. I knew that Poland would become the place that it is right now, probably even better. And then I just thought about a business. Which business could I do at the time? And then I thought about in gastronomy, about the healthy fast food industry. And therefore, I opened an healthy fast food chain, which I developed all over Poland. At the moment, is open also in Italy.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. And I want to ask about the business structure. So you mentioned your expertise is franchising. How is that came to life in Poland? How did you do it the right way? Because real estate franchising is not a very popular concept. There are many brokerage firms, but you don't find franchising as frequently as in other countries, let's say. And so how did you start the franchise, and how is the business model working, comparing it to your other models? Because I saw you also have an academy and also the traditional brokerage model.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm Italian. Probably you can understand from the accent. I cannot really hide it. It's very strong, even though I've been living half of my years abroad. The thing is that in Italy, you can find a lot of real estate agencies which are under the same brand. I can mention some of them, not to make marketing, of course, just to make you understanding where it came from, my idea. There are a lot of groups which like Tecno Casa, Tempo Casa, Fondo Casa. All of them are with Casa because Casa means home. Mm-hmm. And these groups were already popular from the 80s in Italy. So we're talking about brands which are already consolidated many, many years. And they are present on the ground floor. So when you walk the streets in Italy, not only touristics, I mean every single street, probably you will find on your left and your right a multitude of real estate agencies which are boutique or under these brands. The reason why are on the ground floor, of course, is because for marketing purposes. The Italians tend to be very welcoming, open the door all the time. They work on Saturdays, sometimes also Sundays, and they tend to have running these real estate agencies, not like you run, let's say, cafes, okay, but always open. Let's say that they show the face. It's not only internet, only hidden in an office. Is there, so you are there for the people, for the clients. And there was not this in Poland, or at least was not popular before the 2019. And I didn't notice so many real estate agencies on the ground floor. And then I tried to understand first the reason why not, and then if we could apply that model over here. And that's how it started. We didn't start it, let's say, straightforward on the ground floor. We established first the business. We started operating it, and then after 1 year of operation, then we opened the first 3 agencies on the ground floor.
Okay, and you and your partner, was it you both doing all the work, finding clients, sourcing deals, or did you have to hire a few people to do that?
Well, I would say that this business was the classic bootstrap, you say, probably in English, bootstrapping. So we did everything. We started actually from a co-working space here in Warsaw city center. And we had just a small room in the beginning, even without the window. So I would say in the dark, but let's say even without the window. But then we managed to move to the window, so it was already a big step forward. And we started with the help of an assistant in the beginning. And just in free, we were basically making everything, taking care of the cold calls, the calls, the appointments, the meetings, the signings, the managements of the offers, the sales, the rents. So we were pretty much doing everything. But in our mind, it was very clear the plan, the goals, and that was, let's say, just a kind of moment to check the market, to check the response, understand that what we are going to do doesn't make sense. And then step by step, I saw this light brighter and brighter, understanding that basically that was good. So we decided just to go forward, but always by micro steps. This is very important. You learn along the way this thing of the micro steps, because when you are very young, youngsters, as they say, and you are straight after university, or even you didn't go to university, doesn't make a change. You tend to make everything very fast. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's good because going fast, you make mistakes, you learn from mistakes, you're young enough to just go over and start once again. But when you go too fast, you have less time to analyze, and you tend to make more mistakes than taking the things more, let's say, slower, or at least not slower, but to have very clear the steps forward. So I decided to operate having very clear micro and macro steps.
Exactly. And at the beginning, it's very effective to do the dirty work, let's say, to do every.
You have to make the dirty work by yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, if you want to have, in my opinion, at least in my opinion, this is my point of view, if you want to have a successful company, you have to be the one that makes the dirty work, at least the first steps. But I mean, I'm still making the dirty work. So I mean, I believe this is something that you keep doing it. No, it's just something that changes, that you tend now to find the right people and to delegate more. In the beginning, you delegate less, so you do more by yourself. But doing more by yourself, operational, then you have less time to think strategically. So now the change now, at least what is my goal, is to be able to think more and think strategically. And to think strategically, you need to a little bit distance yourself from operations daily, and then you can make all plan and have the right people that can execute the plan. Sometimes the people even better than you execute the plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. And at the beginning, this is why it's important to do the dirty work, is to understand the business in and out, so that later when you change the strategy and you think about the overall business and you delegate more, you are able to do that because you know every single details about your business. And so I want to ask you about what is an effective strategy to source the right deals and to find the right clients at the beginning?
At the beginning, well, they need to like you. So I would say this is a general thing, not only in B2C, even in B2B. You need to be a likable person, or even a camaleon, as you say in Italian, camaleonte. That means that you have to adapt to each single client and to the situations very, very fast. So it's very important how you engage the first moment of the conversation. If it's by the phone, the first seconds where you are at the meeting with the person physically. and you have to be able to make this impression that you are a trusted, trustworthy person, that they can delegate you, they can give you, in this case, the keys to the most precious things in their life, which is probably their house. And many times they still pay the mortgage on it, so it's even more precious. And they have to believe you, and you don't have a lot of time, because if you make a bad impression first, then it's very hard to change it. So you have to be very good in making the first impression very, very good. And then all the rest goes, let's say, smoother.
Got it. And so how do you build that trust at the beginning, especially if you don't have any track record and new to the real estate business? How do you build that trust with the first clients?
Well, I cannot tell you everything, because some things are, let's say, internal to our academy, to our trainings, to how we train the people to be better sellers, a little bit of psychology of business. But I can tell you, let's say, in a more general point of view, for example, you have to find the right moment. When is the right moment, for example, to push? When is not the right moment to push? Then you have to really let it go. You need to talk to the people in a way that they need you, that you don't need them. And you have to find this point, this common point between you. This, I would say, this emotional connection that makes them easier and comfortable to talk to you first. In my case, I can say it's usually the fact that I'm not Polish. So speaking to them, or generally we start conversation in Polish, then they understand that the accent is not really from here, and they always ask where I'm from. So in that case, my stories, probably the fact that they've been traveling many times to Italy, they tend to ask me a lot of questions, but honestly, very open. And they see that basically I don't want anything from them. I'm there offering a dialogue, a very nice time with them. Mm-hmm. And then when they feel ready, they actually come to me. So I don't press it too much. That is, for example, my case. In Polish, you say the hachik to get to the person to make the deal. It's not the only one, but everyone is its own. So I believe that we cannot teach everything, how to be the best seller or to be the best in your role, because every single person is different. Every single person is going to have this hachik, this thing that makes him different from another, and he has to use it. So first he needs to find this inside, and you find it by a lot of practice. Yeah. And then once you find it, then you use it.
Got it. And how do you find these clients? You mentioned cold calling. Do you just find them online through LinkedIn or like some websites that offer these real estate posts, or do you knock on doors, or what other strategies?
No, the door to door. It was a strategy very much used everywhere in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, before the arrival of internet. Internet changed completely the dynamics of work, the role of the agent. But before, indeed, the door to door was one of the best ways, I don't hide that sometimes, no, we don't do, but I still heard that some companies do it. I don't want to say that it's something bad, absolutely. It's still another method. In my opinion, you have to use all the methods that you can use. You have to be able to use them to exploit them. This is very important. So when you ask, what do you use the most? Yes, I can tell you, for example, some of the channels. Some of the channels are to go directly to the people which are already listing, for example, the properties on different portals. These people sell directly. Sometimes they sell directly because they know they don't have, let's say, a proper agent. They don't have a good relationship with a good agent, or they just want to try alone. Sometimes they think they can handle it, all the process. Sometimes they just delegate a family member or a friend, which is not a professional in doing it. It's just a colleague or a friend. So the chances of their success in this are, I wouldn't say pretty lower, but I would say that are surely less, lower than the chances to basically start a cooperation with a professional agency. So that is one channel that we use. So therefore we get in contact with these people, we meet them, and we propose a cooperations. Once again, I don't tell you everything because it's part of our, let's say, handbook.
Fair
So
enough.
I cannot say. And then other methods, not all, everywhere, is online, offline, is among your contacts, among your social networks, friends, among the people that you don't even know. These probably these people can have something, that they need some service from you. Until they actually call that they need the service. So you have to basically work on your personal branding, and I always push that each single agent, no matter what, build and develop his personal branding, because first there is the work of enlarging your base of contacts, so basically your network, and then from this network you have to basically fish. In order to fish from the network, you need to be visible, and they need to know exactly who you are and what you do. So it's not that tomorrow I write on Facebook, I'm an agent, then everyone is contacting me from my network. But if you regularly, and let's say you do post regularly, you show what are you doing, how do you sell, how are your offers, and you do it not once in a while, but regularly, then it's more likely that the people see you and therefore they come back to you asking for your support and your help. So this is personal branding is very, very important, not only for top managers, but everyone should follow in this development of personal branding.
Got it. And so you've hired at the moment multiple real estate agents. You have multiple locations in different countries. So what makes a great real estate agent?
Well, different things for sure. You have to be able to, first of all, you have to like the job. Okay, so if you don't like, this is paramount. If you don't like meeting with the people, talking over the phone, if you are not, let's say, able to build relationships. So if you are an introvert person, then I wouldn't say that you cannot be, but for sure is more difficult. Definitely, this is a work that require a lot of discipline, a lot of engagement, a lot of determination, but you have to be open-minded. You have to be this person that is always available. You have to be all time over the phone, able to meet once, twice, 3 times. Sometimes you have to be disattached emotionally also to things. You cannot be always emotionally attached because unfortunately many things are not under your control. So you cannot control every single person, every single deal. There are too many uncertainties. You can of course optimize your chances by using some certain methods, but you cannot just optimize 100%, and you can just minimize the chances of not success. So you have to accept that sometimes it just doesn't go. And if you're able to disattach yourself emotionally from these things, then it's faster for you to just keep going. Just keep going. And out of 10 people, probably there is 1, 2 that wants to co-work with you. But this doesn't mean that the other 8 they don't want to work with you. Sometimes it's just a matter of time, not the right moment. You have to really understand the people that sometimes it's just not that moment. It doesn't mean that in a week, 2 weeks, or 1 year, they're going to work with you. So you have to just understand that not everything depends from you, that of course you have to be a professional. There has to be an etiquette of code as how you dress up, the way you dress up, you show yourself, you present yourself to the people is your face, is your work. So is extremely important. I always stress also this. It's not a matter of fact of dressing Gucci or other brands. Again, I don't want to make marketing just an example. Is about being clean. Is about being presentable, being nice. The person that is next to you needs to see the right person to work with. We are not selling breads, shoes. We are selling houses, and sometimes the houses are the most important things for the people and our clients.
Absolutely. And so which of these skills are prerequisites and which of them are trainable, let's say? Because you train also
like
your
predestinated,
agents.
already talented.
Exactly.
I would say like this. I don't hide that. There are some people that are, let's say, predestinated. They have this talent from the beginning. They take the phone the first time. They manage to have conversations without any fear. Yeah. They manage to handle meetings without fear. They are just talented sellers. But how much percentage is of these talented sellers among agents worldwide or here in Poland? I believe not more than 5 to 10%. Okay. So this is just to answer your question that you don't need to be talented to be an agent. You don't need to be born for it to be a successful agent. They said 90% of the things are trainable. So you can still be a very, very successful agent without being a predestinated agent. Because many things that you can train about, for example, the importance of structuring your work, your work dedication, the learning how to the team playing, to basically communicate with the team, the synergy that you have with the team. I wouldn't say the tricks, but let's say we teach how to talk to the people, how to engage the people, how to make curious the people, and then all the things that you can train are, of course, the VIEJ is the in English.
Onboarding period.
I would say this: if you're a good company, then you have to provide trainings of all kinds. From legal stuff, which are very important, they change all the time. So these kind of actualizations are ongoing every quarter, every 3 months, for example. So it's not that you make the license to be an agent, then, okay, thank you very much, I'm done with it. Basically, every probably 3 months, there are some new things that you have to learn about the law, which are also very important. Then we tend to have a lot of also trainings with psychologists, because it's also very important to understand psychology when you speak to the people. Then also with architects to understand also the way you go inside the property. You can already see straight away what can be done inside to improve, for example, the quality and therefore the price of the property for the landlord. Then we have also with other trainers which teach motivators, coaches. So all these things can be trained. It's just to answer to you that if you are a very good company, they have to provide all the whatever is necessary for the agent to work and be successful. And that doesn't mean that you have to be successful from day one. Okay. It's something that you build over time. You have to be very chirplive. That means that you have to understand sometimes the things don't come straightforward, and it's just a process. A very good way to put under prospect, under point of view, is that we are running here, but we are not sprinting. So we are running a marathon. You have to understand that running a marathon, you have to go forward as you reach 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and forward. Every single step is something, but you have to reach the 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers in order to arrive to the arrival. Okay? And it's not easy. It takes a long time. Therefore, many times also people tend to think that, we earn a lot of money because the provisions are very high. There is not a lot of work behind it. well, if you just analyze the fact of going to the notary and probably have the invoice on your hand and that's it, then yes, I would agree with you. But then you have to understand all the work which is behind. And this is not always visible for the clients, but it's a very long work, very big, and that's why we call it a marathon.
Yeah.
Because then if you divide the amount that you earn as an agent, and you divide by the amount of time that you handle the property, 4 months, 5 months, 1 month, 1 year, it all depends by the markets. And then by the number of the meetings, of the views, and all the works that you make inside, then probably you had even 200 calls to probably get a property, let's say, signed. And then you have to divide by 200 calls. So how much is worth, for example, 1 call? And that motivates you to make, for example, calls.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, especially in real estate, it's a very tough market. You have to have the thick skin to be a great agent and to stay sustainable, as you said, in a marathon. And especially the industry itself, it's very sensitive to economic trends and downturns and crises, for example. So how do you, as a company, how do you kind of safeguard yourself from these economic downturns, and how do you become kind of not sensitive to anything, and you just
I mean you will always be sensitive.
Healthy.
I mean that's of course you can optimize, you can minimize the chances of I mean, if the downturn comes and everyone is hit with it, okay, but we are not constructors, we are not developers. So basically the product we have is a product that we acquire by representing clients. So basically the most important thing in our industry is that the market is dynamic.
Yeah.
If the market is dynamic and is move, then there are transactions. If there are transactions, then is a good market. Of course, sometimes there are moments in which between different, let's say, cycles, the market is not stopping, it's just slowing down. What does it mean slowing down? I'm not talking about prices going up or down. I'm talking about moments in which, for example, there are rumors that a new potential credit is coming from the governments, and then the people are, for example, waiting that this new credit is coming into action. Therefore, is keeping a little bit the demand. And the owners, for example, are expecting, therefore, a rise in prices to this new credit, which eventually will be coming. But then that means that, for example, for the period that the rumor is only rumor and is not actual, the transactions and the volumes are just lower because the people tends to wait. Yeah. So when you tend to wait, you make the market, let's say, less dynamic and more stable. So we are more affected by these events. These events that tend, for example, I don't know what is happening to the market. Something is going to happen because of inflation or because of wars or because of these. So in this moment in which, for example, the demand didn't digest yet, for example, a rumor, or the offer is still stuck there because it's still a rumor, then there is, let's say, this margin difference between the expectations from lenders and therefore the offers and the demand. And when this gap is too high, then it's more difficult for us to work on this market, because then we have either to convince one side or the other to just get closer to the price range. But when the market is dynamic, therefore is working normally, then our work, of course, is also easier because the gap between the two is just smaller.
Got it. And so what are some of the metrics that you track in your business, whether financial or others, that are critical to be sustainable in any situation economically?
Well, no, the most important probably is the amount of offers in the market, the amount of transactions, for example, and volumes in the last quarter. We analyze each single agency is working locally, and locally is analyzing the market. So we don't work only centralized, but we work also decentralized. And that is also the power, in my opinion, and the strength of having different local points which are independent between each other, but somehow we work together and we can analyze all the informations together. And each single agency, let's say, is a master of its area. It's like a reference point for the people of the district, but also is, let's say, this boutique store that everybody knows about, which is in this particular address. So if you want to go there, you can go there. We are always open and happy to help you. So in this way, each single agency is the best in its region or district. In this way, we can get a lot of information from it. So the changes, for example, in home ownerships, also what is happening on the ground floors, for example, in the commercial, not only residential, but also on the commercials on the ground floor, some new investments coming up, infrastructures which are changing, dynamics, for example, like I'm just saying, just something locally that makes an example. Our agency in Villanova here in Warsaw is very close, is between Ostrołęka, it's Pospolite, and is not far from where they have been building the tram.
Okay.
And therefore, this investment, this public investment made from the city, of course, had a lot of implications for us, not only in terms of traffic, that of course we had a lot of disability and problems with the traffic, but not only us, all the people there, but it changed also the prices. Because of course the people were expecting, then thanks to, for example, the tramway, therefore the people will be able to go to the city center faster. Therefore there was more demand for properties close to the tram, for example. Therefore, of course, everything has implications on prices. But once it's built, then is already absorbed by the market. And it's not anymore something that is happening, it's already done. For example, that is how does it work? Like in the markets, rumors. Then the people tend to buy and sell on rumors. Then once it's done, then it's already absorbed the price into the asset.
If you're finding value in this episode, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you do not miss out on incredible conversations with great entrepreneurs to learn more about business. Got it. Do you have a specific process where you choose new markets to open at, and what are some of the signals that you track if you have a certain process in place?
Yes, indeed. This is a very, very good question, and also a very important aspect. You just don't open wherever. I mean, you have to make a research of the potential district. I mean, of the city first, of course, but also of the district is very important. One of the things that I search for is how much is dynamic the secondary market in the area. For example, how many transactions recently the district has. So I'm not talking about a district like Mokotów, which is very, very big. I'm talking about also internal, for example, specifically 5 streets.
Yeah.
So they said that each single district has some micro districts inside them. And we are analyzing it. We are analyzing these metrics, for example, the volumes. And for example, I know also that if they've been built in a lot new investments, a lot of new houses, a lot of new buildings in a district, then I know that in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, eventually the people will start selling it. They're selling for different kind of reasons, because they buy it to, I don't know, 3 rooms because they just are, I don't know, they're a couple, they didn't think about it, the kids, they're in this moment of life, they need a spare room where they can work from when they're working from home. but then it happens that there is the first kid on the way, then eventually the second, and they have to move out. And then when they move out, they're looking for a room bigger, and therefore they move either farther out of the city, and then they sell this place. So we analyze all these metrics. For example, if there's been building a lot, for example, before, that means that not far from now, the people will start selling because they just change, not like cars, okay? But they change because they need a new room. They would like to have a bigger balcony. They didn't have balcony at the time because they didn't need it. It was a single man that was living in the city center in the 2 room, but now he's also making a choice, or he's selling because he's getting out, for example, of the city of the country. So we analyze definitely these metrics. The more volumes as a district, the more interested. And then we check also who is already operating there. You say concurrencia, the competitors. And then we check, for example, I drive a lot. So I drive, and let's say if I'm targeting a certain district, then I drive there pretty much every single day and check, for example, who is there, how are the people walking, is a destination point, is a place which has a lot of traffic, potentially people which are walking because they make shopping, they buy groceries. Is the area lived? Is not only office people going away, but is actually a mini city? Are the people living this place? The more the people leave the place, the more interesting for me is to actually open there, because they see more my service. They pass there more often. They are more likely to call my agency because every single day they see us physically and online. Online, I believe that is, I don't say nothing new, thanks to Google positioning, for example, Google AdWords. So I tend to analyze also the online position of our competitors. Are they positioning themselves already in districts? How much are they positioning themselves? Since when are positioning themselves? So if I'm targeting a district, I generally start 2 years before online positioning my potential new place. So therefore, when I open there, I already open which I'm already positioned online. I probably open which I already have a team, which will be focused there in the area. And this team is trained. Let's say we recruit the agents, and we tend to do it from another agency. Therefore, we call it this pre-opening.
Got it. And so you've scaled at the moment to multiple cities, even multiple countries, Spain, Italy. What are the systems, tools that you found most helpful for you to support you scaling in these locations?
I say this, in this, there is a timeline, and probably we are between the second and the fourth step out of 10. And in this moment, let's say there are some key features which are extremely important, and probably between the step 7 to 10, probably there are other key features which are, let's say, equally important or more important. Right now, the most important is the human capital. Because I am investing in the people which are inside our company. These are for me the keys features to scale up the business. So I invest in them. Investing in them, it means to not only to train them, but really I would like to say, like, to make a copy paste of yourself, because nobody's a copy paste of yourself. Everyone is different, but somehow strong characters tend to attract similar people, because somehow, like when you flirt with someone and you are a couple or something like this, you tend to attract, of course, people because of your character.
Yep.
People that can be similar to you, or they're attracted to you for some kind of reason. The same is in business. You tend to attract people that somehow they get closer to you. And then if you are good enough, motivating these people, constantly giving them ambitious goals, and they see in yourself this leader, this partner, this friend, they tend to stay with you. And therefore, now in this moment of time, I'm focusing in human capital. I'm focusing on making the right structure thanks to the right people which are already probably partners, managers, or agents in my corporation right now, and to build them, to prepare them for the next. And I'm already working now. I've already been working for the last 4 years for this.
So how do you do that? How do you provide the right incentives for your agents to make sure that they're going to stick with you and build the company with you, not just take whatever things you offer and then start their own company or go work for somebody else?
That's something that I noticed. This is a very good question, because this is something that I noticed, especially here in Poland, because in Poland there are a lot of boutiques. There's a lot of boutiques that focus in the exclusive premium market. They recruit agents, or sometimes they manage to acquire agents from others competitors. But the point is this: in this industry, these boutiques, in my opinion, have a problem in keeping talents. Because what you can offer more to these talents? Okay, you can offer more provisions, like higher commissions. Okay, then there are some agents, for example, that say good commissions are the only things motivating me. Okay, so then the higher the commission, the better it is. There are some other agents which are thinking, okay, commission is not the only thing, but it's also important the renoma, the reputation of the company, how the company is expressing itself, which are the plans of the company for the development, the future development, how is treating the agents, how is the atmosphere, all these aspects, which of course makes also sense for agents. So not only the provision and the commission, but also these features. But then once again, some agents will want to stay agents because they are individualistic. And they tend to earn more by themselves than to manage, for example, a team. There are some people that actually are better in managing, and not always, and this I stress it, the best manager is not always the best seller is not the best manager. These are completely two different roles. So there are some people that start agents, but they find themselves that they really like working with people. And for them, the main, what is pushing them, what is motivating them is actually that the team, that the people around them are actually moving forward, and they're also moving forward. These are the people that you have to understand. So my role is understanding people. I need to understand very fast the profiles of all the people which are working with me. And then based on these profiles, I'm basically, first in my head, I think very fast which can be the development for these people. And then I will do everything along the way to make sure that these people go for this trajectory and not for another, which is a mistake. Okay. Then there are the managers, and then there are I call it not only ambitious, because of course you have to be ambitious to be entrepreneur and to become a business owner and the owner of an agency. But I would say that there are the people that basically want to have their own boutique, their own agency. And then we are back to the point, as you said, your question. Your question was, okay, this very competitive industry, everyone wants to be a freelancer, wants to have her own agency. Well, what we do is we basically give this. So when I see a person that potentially in the next 2 years could be an owner of an agency, I analyze this before, I understand it, and I prepare for this direction. Okay. So therefore, we will start when it's the right moment, the research. It will probably be a team leader. We need to recruit people, learn the recruitment, learn the managing of the team, all these kind of steps. He needs to definitely go for it. But then when he's ready, then he can open with us under our brand. So therefore, let's say that we offer the 50% rest and he will do the 50% left. He will do the things that is best on managing the team, recruiting, running the agency, earning money. But all the other things, legal stuff, marketing, it will be up to us. So therefore, it will optimize really his time to do in what is best. And that's, in my opinion, what it differentiates us from others. The most talented, the most ambitious stay, because with us, they have future.
Got it. And so you do, for the franchising, the franchisees are only your employees, or is it open also for other people to get your franchise?
It's also open to other people, of course, under some circumstances. The franchise in the real estate intermediation business is not a typical standard franchise. In other businesses, let's put it like in this way. Subway is looking for, I don't know if I can mention names, but for example, everybody knows Subway. That Subway is working on franchise like McDonald's, a little bit different concepts and models. But if someone has money, then they can basically teach everything, and this person can open a Subway. That doesn't mean that needs to be already a person that 5 years worked in Subway to know all the process, because probably they can teach all of these very fast. When you open a restaurant or a place like this, you spend a lot for machines. If you're opening a pizzeria in franchise, you're paying for the forno, for the oven. How do you say? I don't know. And this costs a lot of money. In our business, the investment is not really the place. The place is the minimum investment. Our business is a business that you have to learn. And you cannot really open an agency if you were not an agent. You basically have to go through all steps before being able to open an agency. So for this, honestly, there are no exceptions, because if you have not been an agent or a manager, then how will you handle a team? Or how will the team respect you or talk to you if you're not the person? And since the requirements, the financial requirements are not high, but the time dedication is extremely high. Is a service that we offer. Is not a product, is a service. We are service oriented. So I would say like in this way, yes, is open to others, probably also in other cities, but they need to have the background checked. I'm not talking about only financial, I'm talking about operational, and then surely they need to work with us a period of time, because not every single agency works in the same way. Every single agency is, let's say, has own style, methods, culture, brand book, whatever, as it's called, handbook. And this is something that you learn over time. So in Warsaw, our expansion here is internal expansion. It's people which are already working with us that tend to be entrepreneurs of tomorrow. Out of Warsaw, is, let's say, different. We're looking for regional partners that could eventually develop regionally the business. We're looking for people which have already experience in intermediation, people which eventually have been already team leaders, and for them will be surely easier, and we can also optimize and minimize the success, maximize the success rate. Let's put it like in this way.
Got it. Are there any differences between running this business, your real estate business, in Poland and Spain or Italy, business-wise or operationally?
Yes. I mean, the business is one, but of course the people are different. So the people makes the business, so therefore the business is different. That's logically how I put it in this way. Let's put it like this. As I said, we were talking before that there is a difference of culture between Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, German, Poland. Let's put it like this. These are regions with different cultures, and of course, also the approach to work is different. Probably here you tend to work more online, less touch to the client than in Italy. In Italy, you tend to work a little bit less online, more offline, more banners, more events, more conferences, more meetings, more opening days, more opening days even in the agency. People tend to come to your agency even if they don't need nothing. In Italy it's like this. You have the door always open of your agency. The people are passing by. You just say, hello Marco, how are you? The person is coming inside for a coffee, and then you drink a coffee. They don't need to buy anything. It's just a way of connecting, say hello, how are you? We tend to talk a lot, and that's not always good. Sometimes it's better to be a little bit more concrete.
Yeah.
But that's the way how it is. So I don't want to talk about all the legal differences because are massive. About the taxations, which are very different. Just right now in Spain, they're talking about 100% tax for foreign residents in order to tackle it, to protect the residential market in Spain for the for the residents. I don't know how that will work. Honestly, protectional measures, they don't always work in that way. Probably they make more difficult for foreigners, but this doesn't mean that the prices will still go up. Honestly, I don't know. So I don't want to talk about more these aspects, which every single country is different, but more about the people, the clients. Yes, the clients are different, therefore also the agents have to adapt to the clients.
Okay, so I assume you have different trainings for each agent in different country.
Yes, there are brands famous worldwide, which have different branches even worldwide in different countries. This is one brand, for example, with multi-branch, and is working everywhere. But this doesn't mean that it's the same everywhere. I mean, put it like this way. Like in the gastronomy, McDonald's is McDonald's, but McDonald's in Italy offer different products than McDonald's in Sweden or in Norway, because our culture, our tradition, our tastes are different. The same, in my opinion, must be analyzed in all businesses. You cannot just have a business and then without any adaptation, just scaling it in each single country, in each single city. You have to understand the country. You have to understand the use of the people, the tastes of the people, the behaviors of the people, and then to adapt it. So you can have a very good business case, but if you're not able to adapt it to the place, then you have a risk to fail it, because either you are too faster, or you are too rigid, stiff, not elastic, not flexible.
Yeah.
No, you have to be definitely flexible. You have to understand the needs here, how the people are, and then you have your let's say culture that you adapt here. Then the same you can make in Italy, the same you can make in Spain or in England under the same brand. I would say that the colors probably are the same, the style is the same, but then the people that you actually are different. And what you teach them, also in the way you teach them, is different. The way they handle the conversation, the meetings, all the rest. Some things will be for sure the same.
Yeah.
But some others will have to change.
Got it. Yeah. Even some global franchises, they fall in this illusion that their brand is too powerful. Anywhere they can operate the same way, they're going to be successful, which is not the case. You have to adapt to specific countries.
And that's why they fail sometimes.
Cultures. Exactly.
I mean, honestly speaking, it comes now to my mind very spontaneous thinking about Domino and Starbucks. That one Domino with the pizza and the Starbucks with the coffee, they thought about coming to Italy and having a crazy business. I mean, Domino, I don't remember the year, had like a crazy business plan of opening 150 pizza over 3-4 years. And over 3-4 years, they just opened, I don't know, less than 10, and even closed them. I mean, they thought, okay, I can apply the delivery, that in Italy is less delivery. Not true, because of course you find Uber and all of them in Italy, they are working equally, like in France, like in Poland. Of course, the Italians also adapt themselves, to this new trend. If in the past there was not even thinking, the pizza delivery home, how do you do that? Because it must be in the place, in the dessert. Italians are crazy for specifics and details. Yeah. Probably the people in food, at least in food, in fashion. But for all the other things, we are not so crazy, okay? But for the food and the fashion, we are very detailed, and we like details. And they thought, okay, I mean, we take the pizza, whatever, we make it the online deliveries, and they will work. It didn't work. There was an American model that didn't work. Even though it was a big business, a very brand, very well known, the same Starbucks. Starbucks is still operating in Italy, but everybody knows it has millions of losses every single year just to keep the flagship locations open and to make a branding. But it's not working.
Let's shift gears a little bit. I want to ask you about real estate investments. So what is your advice for someone who wants to invest in real estate, and why should they invest in real estate instead of some other assets?
I would say this. First of all, I'm a big fan of diversification. Okay, because when you diversify, then you are able to minimize the risk of your portfolio. Probably this I say counterproductive now, because I should only say real estate, but honestly speaking, also myself, I tend always to diversify. Of course, I am a very big fan of do what you do your best and keep doing it. So if you do your best in, making bread, you earn money making bread, then keep doing it. Then what you earn from it, you can invest. But don't mistake in having 2, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 4 investments, 5 active investments. You can make passive investments, that absolutely. But active, no. Active, that's my personal opinion, make only one thing, make it good. Earn from it, and then you can invest and spend. When about investing, of course, notoriously everybody knows that real estate has been over years, decades, centuries, a stable asset in which to invest. Of course, the asset is dependent by the currency underneath it. In Poland, there is the currency. In Spain, in Italy, there is another currency. Or in all the world, there are different currencies. So you have to be also wise that when you invest, you understand that you are locating your capital in something that has another currency. So you have to think also macro, if that is the right thing to do. So that's why, for example, some of our clients are not disinvesting here, but also investing in Italy, in Spain, in Portugal, just to have some safe investment in euro. So whenever they want, they know that they have euro, for example. It's like a bank account, let's put it like in this way. And properties, well, tell me probably one place which has no civil wars. Of course, everything can happen. But let's say in a normal course of events, the price per square meters for lands and for apartments, buildings is rising. Of course, you have to consider that even in like Poland, there are different cities, different districts, different streets. So you have to be very good also in investing strategically, where you see that within the next 10 years, there will be a requalification of the area, a renovation, and infrastructures, a new metro line, a new green park. They will build something like a multi-complex that will give also to the other residents something more. So it's not that always investing gives you the same return, the same possibilities. You have to be very wise in or having a consultant or an expert that it tells you eventually where to invest, how to invest, and that depends also by the tick of the investment. If who invests 100 million, 50 million, 1 million, 500,000 zloty.
Got it. I want to ask about your advice for people who want to become real estate agents or who want to have their own real estate business. What should they do? What are the skills that they should acquire? And what actions should they take right now?
Well, I handle honestly a lot of interviews, a lot. Myself, I still do, honestly speaking. I like it, but also because for me is a way of discovering potential future partners. So I need to be able to talk with all of them, because then very fast I grasp the potentials and what I'm looking for in each single of these profiles. The thing is this: what I'm looking for, probably curious enough, we are not looking for experience in real estate. You don't look for someone that has, it happens that someone comes to your company because he just moved to the city, he changed location, so you are very close to his place, or he finds similarities in the way how you communicate, you brand yourself, or already a colleague is working at your agency, so he's also moving to you. So there are, of course, many things affecting the rotation of experienced agents. Okay, but now I would like to talk more about agents which have no experience, so people which are coming from different backgrounds or right after studies. And the thing that I'm always saying is this: you have to be a risk taker. This is probably the closest type of work to be a businessman. Let's say to be independent, because you co-work. You are not hired. Okay, so it's an exchange of service with the agency. The group provides some services, legal, marketing, all the rest, and the agent provides its service, and it's a cooperation. So the agent must understand, fully understand, and be aware that is not working for you. So basically, you will not have a daily task.
Yeah.
You will not have a manager telling him every single day what to do, how to do it. Let's put it like in this way: a very good agency is an agency which have very clear and understandable paths that it tells you exactly how to get there. So one of my first questions is always, which are your financial expectations? Because from there, you can start actually the discussion. From the financial expectation, then you build exactly the path. Let's put it like in this way, the financial expectations are not something, if you're thinking about 100,000, I want to have 200,000, I want to have 500,000 at the end of the year. All it is doesn't bring you money. I believe that we can agree on that every single day, if you think about money, this doesn't bring you money.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is to have an objective, like a goal. And then you have to take the goal, which is financial. And then from the financial goal, you have to concretely know that thanks to this deal, this deal, I will have 300,000. Let's say I need to close 2 transactions every 3 months, every quarter, for sale, and I need to rent X number of properties. If I know that more or less historically the average price of a property is X and the rent property is X averagely, then I know how many transactions I need to do. So then we set up these goals. So I know the financial side. I set up goals which I know for 95% will bring to this financial goal. And then I set up all the micro steps along the way to reach this X sales, X rents. And that means X number of contracts signed, X number of meetings, eventually X course.
Is there a right answer for the financial expectations question? Do you have a benchmark for that, or do you just manage whatever response you have from the agent?
You have a benchmark, of course. I don't disclose this benchmark because it's, let's say, a little bit private. But I would say like this. When we start a work, we have to give up something else. You are starting a new work. So probably you resign from a work, or let's put it like in this way. For all these years that you work with us, you could have worked somewhere else. So this cost beneficial aspect is very important to understand that to answer your question. Saying that our job is risky, because it is risky. You don't know how much you can earn. You can have an idea. You can have the clear path. You know that if regularly you do this, you arrive there. But at the beginning, you don't know that, for sure. Yeah. So you have to take this risk. And when you take the risk into consideration, then you demand a higher, let's say, wage, and higher expectations of how much you want to earn, then somewhere else where you know for sure how much you earn, how much are the benefits, just to make into prospect. If you have a job, hours job, you know that they pay you $20 per hour, and you have to work 5 days a week, and you have these benefits and these perks, everything is clear for you, okay? So let's say that you make your calculation, this $20 brings $2,500, okay, gross per month. Then, in my opinion, if you want to work as an agent, your expectation must be higher than that, because you have to take into consideration the aspect that you risk that you will not earn it, and this risk makes you going for more ambitious targets. The same way it works for financial investments. The more you secure one investment, the different returns it gives, the less risk. If you go for something which is very risky, then you expect higher returns. The same is here. This role, this profile is more risky, therefore you expect higher returns. And therefore, the things that I'm always very openly talking to the people which are starting here, you have to be, yes, humble, but ambitious. Humble with the people, but ambitious with yourself. Because it's only by putting very high ambitious goals that you will be satisfied working here. And if the people think that working in real estate is working less hours, working from home, and all these kind of things, is not true. The amount of work that you put inside your dedication is way more than a job that they pay you to make hours, because you're constantly under stress, constantly overworked, and you work all the time, especially the first year, the second year, to build your personal branding, to build your network, to make all these steps to make, let's say, yourself a more well-known, better agent in the future.
Got it. Talking about ambition, what are some mindset shifts that helped you succeed in your real estate business or business in general?
First of all, you have to be a risk taker, because you need to. You know that tomorrow it can be the end. It can be a beginning. You need to readapt everything from zero. So you have to be flexible. I would put it like this way: probably a risk taker, flexibility, open-minded, accepting that you have to try. I mean, you cannot think that you analyze everything. You will always have 100% analyze every single decision that you will do. No, experience, practice helps you, indeed. So you analyze probably better, no more, better. But it's not all. You keep doing mistakes. And thanks God you make mistakes, because from these mistakes is the only way to learn. Because if you don't do mistakes, then you just keep going. You don't know. But when you make mistakes, then okay, done. What do I do now? I mean, so you have to be extremely flexible from a point of view, risk taker, to all the time take this risk. And I would say like this, probably in some countries or in some environments is a little bit easier. I mean, if you are in America, okay, probably when you are a risk taker, you fail. People are not, looking at you like, oh, you failed, you're a failure, or something like this. Actually, everyone appreciates that actually you try to do something that, to move forward. Countries like Poland, maybe like Italy, France are very conservative, and therefore people tend to take less chances, less initiative, because the culture is if you try you can lose. If you try, probably you lose, and if you lose, you are a failure or a loser, and then that doesn't help move forward, doesn't help people taking risk. But without taking risk, there is also no future for the country. Because I see in this way, the only way to have innovation is by taking risk. If we have a good, probably now companies which are making in the pharmaceutical industry cures, treatments to cure disease and all the rest, is because probably the trial tasted many times that they thought something was impossible that make it real. And sometimes there is one person behind that made these things real, and 100 people there that actually were against it because too much in research and development, too much money there to budget there, or they thought that it was crazy. And this is a little bit everywhere, unfortunately. And also universities are not helping in on this, because they teach you not the way they should. But I see now that the generation
only the winners. It doesn't help people who fail to kind of feel good as well.
They teach you a method that probably was here all this year, and that was probably good for all these years. But now it's not anymore good. You have to also that change, because everything evolves. You cannot think to have the same models, the same way you teach in university school as it was years ago. Good now that the next generations, I see it, because now I'm part of probably the older generation. The new generations are finding different ways to teach themselves. They don't accept only this, as they say. I have to go to uni, I have to do this, I have to do that. They find themselves between independent teachers in YouTube. There are a lot of webinars, a lot of portals where you can find a very nice, well done trainings. You can honestly acquire so many skills that you don't need to go to university to. I'm not saying against university. I'm just saying, universities are absolutely important. I'm just saying that is not all, and they also need to evolve to this new reality as it is now, which is extremely flexible, dynamic. Every year to year, something is changing, and you cannot think like 50, 30 years ago. That's
absolutely. I mean, the whole educational system is not good in a way for most people, because it teaches you that if you fail, you're the bad guy, basically, and that you're not going to succeed. It doesn't tell you like, hey, failure is just the one step closer to success. Yeah. And this is extremely important, especially if you want to pursue a business career. So I want to ask you that, you became a father a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Did being a father change the way you approach entrepreneurship? And did it help you become a better entrepreneur?
Good question. Definitely is. Being a father is something that until the moment you are not a father, you don't become a father, you have no idea. It's such a big change happening in your life, mostly for good, of course. But is this that you cannot, you can expect to become a father, but you have no idea what will be once you become a father. And sometimes you're not a father until the moment that you are a father. You cannot prepare yourself to be a father. And it's a shock happening in your life. Therefore, is this shock completely, it's like a shockwave happening to you when it happens. And then it happens, you have to find a way to react to it, to adapt to a new business to new model of life, a new lifestyle, to balance things more, to be more decent person. You understand listening, be more balanced. I believe that this is probably the right word to say that probably who was a father learned probably to be more a listener, to be more balanced in his things, a little bit more less extreme. Probably the fact that these things is bringing probably you stability, or probably that you look after someone like in a way that you never did before, and you look forward that this person probably and hopefully will stay way more in life than you will ever do. So you're looking in that way. I mean, priorities are a little bit changing, and I'm not talking for everyone, of course, because it's I cannot say how other people are reacting to it. I can say how I reacted to it. I try to find not a perfect, because there is not a perfect way, but a more balanced way to divide myself between business and private life in a way that it doesn't collide, in a way that is not making it difficult for my wife, in a way that can also spend quality time also with my kid, with my son Leonardo.
This is awesome. Tell me, Stefano, what's next for WESTATE? What's your plans for this year, next few years?
Well, development, scaling. That's, let's say, probably the most important. We will scale in Warsaw. I will not tell you where, but we are targeting a couple of locations here in Warsaw. Scaling in Gdańsk. And then a couple or more openings in other cities in Poland. Okay. Enhancing our collaboration with our partners in Italy and Spain. Digitalizing more our procedures. And then I will invite you also to our 5 years anniversary in June. There will be a big celebration, and probably there we will also show the plans for the futures. Awesome. And make it public.
I'm so excited about that, and I look forward to it. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
today.
very much.
It was incredible, and I'm sure a lot of people will find it useful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for the invitation.